When you travel the world for a year, you see and experience so much, and we want to share our daily travels with you. Unfortunately, a hard drive failure means we have to tell the middle a little bit differently. So, welcome to Storytime with the Happy Hoppies in this edition of The Lost Episodes. Alright, so our second day in Tunisia. So we left our beautiful 4-star resort.
And after a wonderful breakfast. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's right.
Seriously, probably one of the best breakfasts on our trip.
Yeah.
It was so big and like all this really nice food.
And they had someone that could make you omelets there too, remember that?
Super fancy.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. Oh, didn't they have crepes?
They might have. Probably
I think they had crepes too. It was really good.
Amazing.
So then we headed a little bit farther south and went to the Jem Amphitheater. And it was huge. It was awesome. It has a seating capacity of 35,000 people. And just to kind of compare that to the Colosseum in Rome, that one seats 50,000 people. So a little bit smaller, but still just massive.
Yeah, it was really cool. You got to park like almost right up next to it. Walk in, you pay a little fee.
Yeah, it was only like $5.
It was really cheap. And you get to walk in it over all throughout it. It wasn't like so guarded that you couldn't like explore it very well.
Yeah.
So
you go anywhere.
You can go pretty much anywhere in there. It was amazing. So we had a good time just kind of exploring that, walking all up and down the different levels.
Going down was kind of creepy because that's where you know that they like held people before they like, sent them up to be killed.
There was like the jail underneath.
And then from like the top you could see there were camels like outside and you could take rides there, but you didn't really go anywhere, you didn't go very far.
You're in the city.
Yeah, so we decided that we would not ride camels there and see if we could ride camels later someplace else that was a little bit more scenic.
Deserty.
Yeah. And there were some like cute little shops and
we do,
like
by
that.
the way.
Oh yeah, we do.
Tease it out.
Oh, sorry, we do.
We do, so stay tuned.
We had a lot of driving that day. Normally, like when we were in France and places like that, we always hit to avoid tolls. Usually it's not that much longer, and you kind of just see a more scenic part and don't just, spend time on the highway. This is an amazing, beautiful drive right now. Beautiful fall colors, beautiful mountains of France. So we started to try and do that in Tunisia. Not a good idea.
And I think I had asked you too. I was like, hey, just make sure, whatever route says you stay on the main road. Don't necessarily follow it to a T.
Yeah.
If I didn't, I ended up saying that later a
yes,
lot. But
yes, because it was, Google sometimes, like, they're trying to take you a faster way.
It's like super narrow little roads, little alleys.
Very narrow roads. A little bit creepy because you're like, okay, this looks a little bit sketchy here. So
and people
anyways,
are looking at you like, what are you doing driving in here?
Right, yeah. So anyways, so then we're like, I don't think we should be here. So we ended up just taking the toll roads, and come to find out the tolls were only like 75 cents to like $1 or something like that. So worth it.
Totally worth it.
So worth it. Take the toll roads in Tunisia. Do not try to go down the narrow alleys. It's really not worth it.
That's travel safely in Tunisia tip number 1.
At the tollways, like whenever you went to go pay, there would be people selling bread there. And we kept seeing it and we're like, I want to like get that bread, but I don't know if it's like safe to eat, Later on, we'll talk more about that.
Then we had a nice long drive all the way down to Tozeur, and we routed it in such a way that we made sure to avoid going through Sidi Bou Cid, It was just one of the areas that on travel.state.gov had advised that you don't travel through.
And in Gafsa, which we did travel through, that was another one that
Said you shouldn't.
said you shouldn't, but there really wasn't any way around it. And we had to get gas there.
So we get to this gas station and get out and ask, hey, do you take credit card? And I show him a card. You take this. And he's like, yeah. So we pump gas, and then I go to pay him with the credit card. And then he points me to an ATM. I was like, no, I need to pay with credit card.
This is a credit card, not a debit card.
Yeah, he's like, no, go get money out of that. I was like, no, I need to pay with credit card.
So he was a little bit sly in getting us to get the gas there because we would have just gone to a different place anyways.
So I ended up going to a ATM and trying to get cash out, and it didn't work. So then I came back and I told him it didn't work. And then he pointed me to another one. So I went to another ATM and tried that one.
But talk
that
about
one didn't
entering
work.
into that bar.
It reminded me a little bit of Star Wars. Like you walk in, you know, those Star Wars scenes, you're walking in these weird bars and there's just some interesting characters and just like smoking all these weird things and whatnot. And I was like, yeah, it's like Star Wars. Yeah, we're not to a set yet, but I can see where some of the inspiration maybe came from. And we're like, okay, what are we supposed to do here? Like, we're kind of in a tight spot. I don't know what to do. Here's the cash I do have.
But we had already filled up, and we filled up like, I think it was the equivalence of like $4 US dollars more gas than we actually had the currency for. So we just were like, okay, well, this is all the currency we have, and we can't get ATM. You told us you could take a credit card. We don't know what to do. And so Peter is talking with him, and another guy who spoke English came over, and that was really nice.
And he was translating, he was going back and forth.
It was so nice, because he just took time of his day.
Just being helpful,
amazing.
being a good Samaritan.
So the whole time that Peter is going between the ATMs, like I'm sitting in the car, but I'm making eye contact and I have the window down with these teenagers that just probably got out of school for the day. And, you know, they're obviously looking at me because, well, again, I'm white and I stand out. And so they're looking at me and, you know, they're giggling and talking and whatever. And so when Peter came back to then talk with those two guys, I was like, you know what, this is just silly me, just like staring at them staring at me. I'm just gonna go over and say hi. And so I think, you know, because we always try to learn hello and thank you in the native language. And I said hello to them in Arabic, and I took a little like selfie picture with them. Again, I do not have that, but it was really cool just kind of talking with them and taking a picture with them. And yeah, it was just really fun. And the cool thing is like there was like these three girls that I was mainly like connecting with, and as soon as I get my selfie out, like a whole group of like 20 people like joined, like I want to get in the picture too. So that was pretty cool.
So while she was having fun over there, I was with two guys trying to figure out what we were gonna do about this extra $4 I couldn't pay for. I'm like, I don't have any way to pay for it. I gave you all my cash that I have. The ATMs are not spitting out money today. It's just some kind of error. The system was down with the ATMs.
And I think they suggested that we drive an hour and a half back to the ATM to then drive an hour and a half back to pay them. But that was just not really doable that day. That was a really long
Well, it was
detour.
ridiculous. I'm not gonna go spend a lot of money on gas to go get $4 out and come. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And all that time, we're only in the country for a limited time. Anyways, so the guy that was helping translate, the Good Samaritan that came by and was translating back and forth, he pulled his wallet out and spotted us the difference.
We were so thankful.
Very, very thankful. So if you happen to see this video, thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and that was just one example of just the friendliness that we saw in Tunisia. People were so amazing and so friendly there. And the next story of friendliness comes up when we kept driving.
Down to Tozeur, we go to try to find our hotel to get checked in. And again, we booked through booking.com, and it seems like when you book through booking.com, a lot of times there's some drama and some hassle and some headaches that goes along with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this hotel, we go to the address that was on booking.com and then cross-reference it with Google Maps. We go there, and it just looks like an apartment building, a complex, somebody's house. I don't know. There's no signage. So we see like the name of the hotel on the booking reservation, and we're looking for a sign. There's no sign. So we're like, okay, is this it? Maybe this is. And so
And you tried to call.
I tried to call, didn't pick up the phone.
I was like, well, maybe this is the hotel. It doesn't look like a hotel. It looked like a compound from the outside. And there are multiple door entrances. So anyways, one was kind of already cracked open. So I kind of like knocked and like walked in, and then I realized this is somebody's house. And we're just like in like a courtyard. And so I was like, okay, forget this. This is not right. So we walked back up to the car and we looked and we're like, well, it says it's here.
So we had circled the building. We had circled
Yeah.
the entire thing. We're calling, trying to find all the different entrances, like poking our heads inside. And we're like, this isn't it.
And 5 minutes back, there was like a line of hotels. And we're like, Booking.com must just have the wrong point. It has to be like down here. And so we were like, let's go back to that like strip of hotels and try and find it. So that's what we did.
So we went back and we actually pulled into a couple of those hotels and we got out, went inside and asked, hey, where is this place? Where's this hotel? And can you call them for us too, maybe? Because maybe they'll pick up your phone number since they're not picking up ours.
Right.
But we did have a local SIM card, so it was a local number. Anyway, we go and show them the name and they're like, that just means my house or something like that. And it's really generic and it's not like a hotel name. They're like, this is just somebody's house. We're like, oh, great.
Right. So then they're like, oh, I think I know who that is. And so then we went farther back into the main town and...
To where they thought that we were supposed to go.
Right.
Yeah, so we went to another spot and they're like, oh, this is probably him. Go in there like, no, it's not us, somewhere else. Anyway, we eventually get connected with the dude via phone. He's like, okay, where are you at?
He finally picked up.
I'll come to you. So he came to us. We followed him in his car back to that first spot that we had gone. Turns out it was the right place. But yeah, it was just his house. It's basically an Airbnb that he had listed on Booking.com.
But it wasn't listed on Booking.com that it was a house. So
the way it was described and everything made it sound like a hotel.
right. And so anyways, that was a little confusing. So we were at the right place, but the entrance that I did go in at first was their neighbor's place, and theirs was the front door. But the guy was so nice. As soon as we park at his house, he opens the door and he goes, Americans!
He's like, it's so good to see that, there's at least some Americans that aren't afraid to be here.
Yeah.
Not everybody's scared away.
And his English was perfect.
It was amazing. It was great. We had
I
a
think
great
he
time.
was a professor.
He had
Things like
hosted
that.
some other pretty well higher ups with government or military or whatever that would be coming to Tunisia from the States or different places in Europe
Yeah.
and whatnot. He was a house that would host those dignitaries or whatever, and ambassadors and
He
whatnot.
was so nice.
And do we eat before or after we went and did the whole money thing? Payment.
Oh,
That
that's
was
what
first.
happened.
I think we did that first.
We did it first. I forgot about that.
Yeah, there's a whole big section here with drama.
Hang on, wait. Before we ate dinner, there was more drama.
Okay, so when we got there, we had just had this experience of not being able to pay for something after we had received what we had to then pay for. So, I'm like, again, all right, this is Booking.com. You do not pay for it on the website, but it did say he took a credit card. Now we find out it's a house. We're like, okay, it said online you take a credit card. You still take a credit card kind of thing?
He's like, no, I don't. I just have that listed.
And then we talk a little more about, okay, he can take credit card, but he hasn't set up his account or he doesn't have the merchant thing set up, but he has a sister that has a hotel, and so let's go down there and we'll process it down there. So he's like, we can do that in the morning though, we don't have to do it tonight. We're like, no, we'd really feel better if we can do that tonight and get that taken care of tonight.
Yeah.
I want to make sure we can pay for it.
Yeah. If we're gonna stay at your house, we want to make sure we can pay for it.
So we hop in his car, we ride with him down to his sister's hotel. It happened to be the other hotel that we were thinking about staying at in that town. So sister and brother, pretty cool. Anyways, we got there and they had a machine and they tried running it through, but it wouldn't work.
It was like a dial-up machine. It was really ancient.
They kept changing what wires were plugged in where and just swapping things out and trying to troubleshoot and get it to work. It wasn't working, so eventually they gave up on it. He's like, okay, I got another place we can try.
I have a friend.
I got a friend. So then we hop back in his car and drive through the downtown area to this other hotel that we had been to earlier. And on the way there, that's when we got to see some of the, like the downtown part of Tozeur, and he was kind of pointing some stuff out. It was really pretty. They had lots of street vendors, I think, that were still out that you could see, and just a cool fountain, I think, that was like in the middle of the town, and some lights. I think they had like Christmas lights out and stuff. Very beautiful. But then anyway, we get back to that hotel that we had been sent to earlier, thinking that was the place we were supposed to go to. Was not, but it was his friend's place. So all connected. It's
it was
great.
so funny.
It's like small town. It's wonderful.
And they're like, oh, so you're in that place?
Yeah. Like, hi again.
And so now, if anyone else has an issue, they'll know which guy to send them to because they're all friends.
Yeah, we told them that. Like, hey, now you know. That's whose place it is.
Yeah. So they're able to process our credit card at that place.
It worked like the first time. It was piece of cake. Finally, we were good to go. He went and said hi to the owner for a minute. That was like cooking over in the restaurant area. Then we hopped back in his car, went back home, and that's when we had the dinner. Yeah,
and so then that evening, they had like a full kitchen we could use, and then we were in a room upstairs, and we just, had bought some groceries. So we were just eating through our like groceries or whatever, and he's like, that's it? And so then he like gave us some like yogurt and like other things. It was just really friendly, dinner was not included with the place, but he was like, no, you must eat this. And then also, he had us try some of these dates. And his father or father-in-law had this date tree, and we were there the time that they were harvested. They were the most amazing dates. It was just so awesome. And so in the next video, we will actually be exploring Star Wars sets. Yeah, so we're going to several different locations.
It's gonna be awesome.
See ya.